Hi friends, Miss Cristiano here. Today for our story, we are going to read one of my favorite books, and the title of it is Our Tree Named Steve. Because we are beginning a tree study this week. It's also one of my favorite studies. I love to learn about trees, and I'm so excited to talk about trees with all of you. So, our book is Our Tree Named Steve, and the author of our story is Alan Swebel, and the illustrator is David Catrow. What does an author do? Who remembers? Think, think, think. If you said the author writes the words, super, good job. Now, what does an illustrator do? If you said the illustrator draws the pictures, great job remembering. The author writes the words and the illustrator draws the pictures. Super job. Now, who remembers the parts of a book? This is the front of a book. Good job. This is the front. And this is the back of a book. Good job. And then this is the spine, good job, of the book, and the spine holds the pages together. Good job remembering the parts of a book, friends. All right, just by looking at our front cover, what do you think the story will be about? Just by looking at the picture. What is your prediction of what the story will be about? You think it's going to be about dinosaurs? Do you see any dinosaurs on the front cover? No. That's silly. Do you think it's going to be about a tree? You might be right. See the big tree with the leaves and the wide trunk? You might be right if you said about a tree. And I see some people and a dog on the front of the cover too. Maybe these are some characters in our story. Let's open up and find out. All right. Dear kids, a long time ago, when you were little, Mom and I took you to where we wanted to build a house for us to live. But in order to build there, men had to come and clear the land. So what does clear the land mean? They were wondering, how can you build a house if there's all these trees here? What do they have to do? They have to take the trees down, right? They have to clear the land to build a house. I remember there was one tree, however, that the three of you couldn't stop staring at. Adam thought it was crying. Lindsay said it looked nervous. And Sarah, who was only 2 years old, couldn't pronounce the word tree and called it Steve. I love you, Steve, she kept saying, and then Adam and Lindsay started saying it, and before long, Mom and I got the hint to ask the builders to please save Steve. So they're going to clear all the other trees to make room for the home, but they're going to leave Steve. The day we moved in, Steve was there to greet us. What do you think that means, Steve was there to greet them? When you greet someone, you welcome them. You say hi. So Steve was there to greet them, to say, welcome to your new home. He quickly worked his way into our lives as a swing holder. Look, the rope is holding the swing, the tire swing. Target, third base, hiding place, jump rope turner. Oh, look, and he's holding the rope to play jump rope. So many fun games. And whenever our dryer broke down, we held our underwear with pride. Oh, Steve held the underwear with pride. Look, they used clothespins to dry their clothes. Steve seems very helpful. And look at this doggy. This doggy is silly. Look what he has on his head. That is silly. Yes, right there in the center of our yard, this weird-looking tree grew to become the center of our outdoor life. Look what else they did to Steve. What did they hang? They hung lights. Good job. And what are they inside of? A tent. They look like they're camping in their yard. Through all our barbecues, campouts, and dance parties, or when Adam and Lindsay started getting crushes on the Simon kids next door, Steve adjusted to our every need. Oh, now look, Steve's leaves are changing colors. Must be fall. And they're swinging on a swing. Sounds like Steve was always there for them. Or when Uncle Chester napped in the hammock, couldn't possibly have been fun. Oh no. Look what's underneath. Looks like it's flooding underneath. See all the water? And the hammock is protecting their uncle. Not to mention the time that the sewer overflowed and Steve sucked up all the smelly water before it drowned Kirby. Oh no, look. Steve's sucking up the water with his roots. Then he got so sick of himself that the tree doctor had to give Steve a haircut. Oh, the trees sometimes can get sick. So Steve got sick, and the tree doctor had to give him a haircut. That means he had to trim off some of his branches to make him feel better. Through the years, Mom and I have tried to show you, in a world filled with strangers, the peace that comes with having things you can count on, and a safe place to return after a hard day or a long trip. Aw, Steve was always there for them. Look, they're taking a family photo in front of Steve. See the camera? Which brings me to the point of this letter. Last week, a storm hit our area. Oh no, a storm. What do you think happened? If a storm hit the area, what could happen to Steve? What do you think? Make a prediction. Maybe you're right. Let's find out. Uh-oh. And though we spared Steve's life a long time ago, this time we could not save him. Look what happened in the storm. Do you think it was wind that knocked down Steve? Look, he broke. His trunk broke. Do you think it was the lightning? It must have been a strong storm. Look how sad they look in the window. I would be sad too. How would you feel? Are we sad? Sure we are. But even in his final moments, when he could have fallen on our house, Sarah's swing, Kirby's house, or Mom's garden, Steve performed his last trick and protected all of us to the very end. And friends like this are hard to find. So he fell the opposite way of the house. So they're saying they're grateful because even at the end, Steve protected them by not falling on the home. So when you come home from Grandmom's next week, Steve will not be able to greet you as he's done in the past. And I'm sorry. Oh, look, even the dog seems to miss Steve. But please know that Steve will always be with us in our hearts, in our thoughts, and in a different tree at the other end of our yard. See you next week. Love, Dad. So he said Steve is in their yard still. Do you see? Where do you think they could have, what do you think they could have done with Steve? With the branches and the wood from the tree. What could they have done? Do you see this in the picture? They made a treehouse. They built a treehouse out of Steve's wood and branches. Wow. That was a great idea. So now they still have Steve, and Steve is still part of the family. He is just a treehouse now. Great job listening to that story, friends. I am so proud of you for doing super listening. What is one thing that happened in this story that you remember? Tell someone in your family. What do you remember that happened? Remember, first they had to clear the land. Good job remembering. And then they saved Steve because they really liked him, right? And then Steve was a big part of their family because he was always there when they needed him, right? They played games with him and on him. Steve helped them to dry their clothes. Steve was there through all the seasons, fall and winter. And even when they had a flood. Do you remember all these things that happened in the story? Great job. And then he got sick and they had to trim his branches. And then what happened at the end to Steve? How did Steve fall down? How did he break and fall? Do you remember what happened? Great job listening. There was a storm. And then what did they do with Steve when they cut him down? They turned him into a treehouse. Good job remembering the details of the story, friends. And great job listening. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.